Alright guys, so today's video, if you can't already tell, probably already looks different. And that's because I'm shooting on the product that I wanted to talk about, and this is actually being shot on a webcam, believe it or not. In fact, the product we're going to talk about is the Opal C1, and it's considered to be a professional webcam. I mean, it shoots up to 4K 60. You have different controls if you're going to be using the right software, which we'll talk about all of that, but it is not cheap, coming in at $300. But by the end of the video, you may actually see where the value is in this product, just like I did, because I'm going to compare it to some things that I use or different situations that you might find this handy. So to start with, let's talk about some of the things that they claim. They claim that this webcam has DSLR-like quality. Now, the camera that I normally use is a mirrorless camera. The camera itself mixed with the lens itself is coming in at about $1,700. I will do a side-by-side comparison here so you can see what the camera that I usually use looks like next to this webcam. It does have a 78-degree field of view, so it actually is pretty wide. The webcam is much closer to me than the camera that I normally use, and it's actually covering a wider area. In fact, I could probably turn this some so that it's not, cutting off where the background goes. But some other things about this camera is it claims to have the fastest lens ever on a webcam. It's going to give you better low light performance. The lens on it is 7.8 millimeters, shooting at f1.8, and they're also using a Sony 4K sensor, so it can record 4K 60. I'm recording in 1080 because that's what I've been shooting my videos as lately, so I wanted it to be comparable to what I normally use, so you guys kind of know how it looks compared to that. And I think that's a fair comparison. Everything in this video is going to be shot with the webcam. I'm even going to use the audio in some places, so you can see the audio next to a very expensive mic that I normally use. So this could be like an all-in-one solution for people that have a business where they're having to be on webcam a lot, or it could be for content creators. If it technically is like DSLR quality and the mic picks up well, you could just use this camera for everything. In fact, I'm even going to show some product shots that I did using this camera so you can see if you could actually use it for all of these different situations. I mean, right now I'm using the included mount that they have that's made to kind of sit on a laptop or a monitor. It does have its own like tripod mount built on the bottom of the camera, so you can just put it on any tripod you want and use it that way. They've also included a USB-C to USB-C cable. It does come with a lens cap, and then it also comes with this little tool which is really made to just screw in the screw on the bottom of the mount that's made for the laptop. So again, I'm impressed overall with the presentation. The box itself is clean. It is very simple. It technically is a plug and play. If you're going to use this on a PC, you just plug it in and you would use normal software that you already use. But the software that's made specifically for the Opal C1 is only available to use on a Mac. Now, I am not a huge fan of this. In fact, I'm having to use my daughter's MacBook Air to be able to use the webcam and be able to take advantage of the software itself, because the software does have some very useful features in it. You're able to have it lock in on your face. I'll click over to that now so you can see that the camera will zoom in on my face. It's a lot closer in this mode, but if I'm moving, you can see that the camera is going to move with it. Where this is beneficial is, again, if you are going to be doing a presentation and you need it to follow you around because you don't have that camera crew behind you, you would flip it over into this mode. It also has an overlay mode if you want to go in and type something like, hopefully it'll show up on the screen here, but it just says, hey guys, you can type that in, you can put a subhead next to that. So that's built into the software. It also has the ability to control your bokeh. So the blur that you're seeing in the background, like right there with the headphones and right there with the lamp, I can control how much of that I want it to blur. So the camera is using a lot of computational type stuff like we see in smartphones, but it is a lot more advanced than some smartphones, I think, because of a lot of the insides that it's using. I mean, it even has its own little cooling system inside, because if you are going to shoot at 4K, it is going to get quite warm, so do keep that in mind. But some other things in the software is it also allows you to turn on some gestures, like if I held up a peace sign right now, it would just turn the camera off. If I put the peace sign back up, it would turn back on. There's also where you can draw with an L, like with 2 fingers, and then it'll allow you to start kind of drawing on the screen. I think gesture control stuff is kind of gimmicky, so I don't necessarily use these type of features. You can also add, let's see, Opal's logo up on the screen just by clicking there. I don't know why you would want to do that, but you do have the capabilities of doing that. There's also different audio controls if you want to control the gain. There is a noise canceling feature that's grayed out, but it says coming soon. I guess you do have to kind of keep in mind that the software itself is in beta, where you're going to get more features as it kind of goes along. But I think as it is right now, it has come a long way from when it started to become a product. When it started to be initially reviewed, people didn't have a lot of control over things and things didn't necessarily work well. And I think it is a well-polished product now. In fact, it's one of the best looking and most well-built webcams that I've seen. So I've been very impressed throughout testing this. Most of you guys don't know because I usually only talk about audio products, but I am a sucker for camera equipment, especially anything that is a little bit different. I have never seen anything that looks like this webcam. It also has what they're calling mic mesh beamforming mics. So the microphones that are on this camera is made to just focus in right on my voice, pick up what I'm saying, and everything is supposed to just kind of block out everything else around me. And so I think for people like content creators, again, if you are starting YouTube and you don't want to spend a fortune on a camera and you can't go out and buy like a really expensive microphone, $300 for your camera and your mic and your ability to plug it into your computer and have some of these controls that you get with mirrorless and DSLR cameras, I think is a huge plus. And again, I see the value when you look at it that way. But if you're just somebody in a classroom, if you're just going to take calls occasionally with family members and the occasional people you work with, $300 for a webcam is definitely going to be overkill. It's going to look good, but you know, for what purpose? If you need these for a specific purpose, if you're looking, again, to broadcast to however many people are going to watch you on YouTube, or if you just want something that looks professional, I definitely see the benefits in a camera like this. But guys, that's a quick video just to kind of show you this webcam that just really caught my attention and I've really been impressed with over the last few weeks while I've been using it. It is definitely a product that I wanted to talk about. I don't know how many people are going to be interested in it, but I've had a whole lot of fun using it. This definitely does not look like a webcam. It doesn't sound like a webcam, and it is very portable, and you slap that lens cap on, throw it in your pocket or your bag where your laptop is going to be, and you can have this studio with you kind of on the go. And this is using my normal lighting. It even does a pretty decent job in low lighting, which I'll show you some samples here. So you can kind of get an idea if you were just in front of your computer, what it would actually look like. But guys, that wraps up my video on the Opal C1 professional webcam. Thank you so much for checking out this video. Thank you so much for checking out all the other videos. And as always, make sure to stay tuned for more.